Hi, good day to dear panels. I'm Shamna Subramaniam as a representative for my innovation project with the title of National Customs Transit System, Asian Custom Transit System, a new paradigm in Malaysia Interland and logistic integration. Okay, another slide will be explain about the introduction. Okay, let me start from the introduction. Okay, the introduction of my research is about the policies which will interrelated to my research, which is the national transit policy, border management policies, and the national transit policies in Malaysia. So in these three policies, make it complicated for the stakeholders to follow one by one because it has their own criteria to be followed. So for sure you all have a question, what is a national interline transit policy actually? Okay, let me introduce. National is about Malaysia only. The interland, I mean that is a place where connected with the port and land space, and the transit is the transporting a goods from one place to another place. That is the meaning of the transit. And the policy is a principle of an action adopted by the people. The people here, I mean that the stakeholders should be comply with the rules that is stated by the agencies, and the agencies must take an action to proceed with these policies. That's the meaning of the National Interline Transit Policy. Okay, all these three policies have their own criteria. So from there, to establish a national transit policy, we definitely should know from the various aspects such as security, safety, the transport, what type of transport that we use, and the borders that procedures that should be followed. So when we have these policies, we can enforce within Malaysia, and it can improve our policies in a one form. Okay, I will explain later on about this accordingly. Okay, there are three objectives that to achieve for my research. First is the formulate national interland policy in Malaysia for interstate border, and the second is to examine the benefits of national interland transit policy for nation interstate border, and the third is the to harmonization of regional transit with the national transit policy. Project, there are three issues have been highlighted because in Malaysia till now we are using export and import transit procedures among the agencies whenever the truck is moved from one border to another border in interstate. And the second is due to the lacking of clear procedures for interstate borders movement within Malaysia, and the third is due to the non-resolved regional transit, which is depends on Asian transit systems. Okay, in my research about the literature review is I have highlighted only three literature review that makes me to formulate this policy is because the illicit trade that happening in each border. So when we control within the Malaysia, could be the illicit trades can be reduced or can be controlled as well, and also the challenges that agencies or Ministry of Transport are facing to formulate their policies, and the third is about the process and procedures that complicating to the stakeholders. So all these are issues that highlighted for me in the literature reviews and to form transit policies. Okay, now we are on the methodology part for my presentation. Okay, qualitative research method was used in my research. Okay, there is the two types of sources of data. First is the primary data and the second is the secondary data. Okay, for the primary data, I have been interviewed government agencies, which is Royal Malaysia Customs Department, and the question that I gave to them was the close-ended question. Close-ended question means the answer should be concise and precise according to my research questions. And the second is the content analysis. Content analysis was the coding, the manual transcript data that I have been carried out. Okay, manual transmit data means that once I interviewed and received the answers from the agencies, I have to be transcribe what they have delivered to me, and then I have to code it according to my objective and my research questions. And then secondary data is the online research. Okay, for online research we can say that the journals that I review in websites, the reports that have been published, for example the National Transport Policy Report, and then literature research, the case studies that have been carried out by the researchers or the authors. Okay, now we are in the main part of the research, is the result and the discussion. Okay, for the result, in this research I carry out the benchmarking theory and the principal theory for achieve the first objective. Okay, as a result I get to know that the lack of awareness among the agencies was the main reason for the lack of transit policies in Malaysia. Okay, this framework is interconnected with the first objectives, which is to formulate national interline transit policy interstate border. Okay, this system will be one of the protocol in national interline transit policy. Okay, national interline transit system is a system that will be involved by the agencies and the stakeholders. Agency means that the RMCD is the Royal Malaysia Customs, MOT, JPJ, MKN, immigration, all of them will be involved. This is because for the security of the system to be enforced by them, and in this system they will have where they should where the trucks is moving within Malaysia and where does it stop, and everything will be included in this system. So as a result, I have researched that in Malaysia we don't have such a framework for national transit policies or national systems, so that in my findings was the framework is very important. Okay, in my research I have also used benchmarking theory because I have viewed from the Europe countries transit system, the procedures they used, and in the Asian level. In Asian level they have their own systems and they have their own legal frameworks for used for the systems. But in national level we do not have systems and the policies within the states. Okay, within the states I mean that, for example, the goods is transported from the port of Klang to the Bukit Kayu Hitam. Okay, you can see that it is within the Malaysia territory. It's not out from the territory. So in Malaysia, when we have a national transit policies, we can insert the national interline transit systems. This is because to save the move of the truck and to avoid the smugglings. So this will be explained in other slides for the second objective. Okay. You can view that is the international transit, regional transit and national transit. What is that mean? Okay, international means it's not within the Malaysia, it is the outside, this is the overseas. Regional transit is among the Asian member states. Asian member states is, for example, the Singapore, the Cambodia, the Thailand, they all are the regional transits. And the national transit is within, inside, internal border transits. As I said, from the port to the Bukit Karinta, or from the Tanjung Pelepas to the Perlis, like that. So it will circulate around our territory. In my research, I have been carried out benchmark theory and the principal agent theory. In nation theory, I have been simplified overall of the theories and the policies that will be used and the system that will be approached. I get to know that there is lack of cooperation among the agencies in formulating a policy. Okay, there are a variety of policies in Malaysia, but they are not make it in a simple way. They are complicating it with the many procedures and the many policies. So as a result from my research, it should be in one policies with the protocols. With protocols means we have a systems. In protocols they have a national transit who should participate, and we will know which parties are using this system and where they want to transport within the Malaysia, and the declaration that they use, the guarantee, and everything will be in one system with the safest way. So these issues was arise because of the Malaysia transit issue was the major in Malaysia. So when we bring this system, maybe this could be controlled within Malaysia before it out from our country. For the third objective under the results and discussions, to harmonization of regional transit with national interland transit policy. This issue is arising because of the Malaysia haulage truck which is unable to enter into Thailand. As a result, it is because of the temporary admission permit that used by Malaysia haulage truck and using old method for the custom clearance. With this interland transit policy, Malaysia and Thailand can integrate through the system rather than waiting for the Asian decisions. As a conclusion, with the national interland transit policies, Malaysia will be systemized with the procedures, and it will make in a one policies without overlap with a variety of policies and procedures. So it will complicated to the stakeholders as well. So when we have a national transport policy, we can make it in a one and have a variety of protocols. So based on the protocols, they can view the